right, we should be live. Should be live right now. Looks like we have audio. Excellent. Okay, well, it stopped for a second. Are we live now? Are we live again? Hello, everyone. It just spontaneously stopped streaming on me, and I'm not sure why. So hopefully this is not an evening of technical difficulties again. But it appears to be online now. Okay, hello everyone. Brandon Knight, nice to see you. Hello, J.K. Siege. Agnetha, Rob, Woodman29, nice to see you. MCDJ ACDC. Hi, Killer Weezer. They intercepted the broadcast. Hi, Sparkster and Robert. Hello, Doug. Hi, Troy Smith. Really great work you did on that video, Troy Smith. It was awesome. Hi, Gaz. Fat Cat. Iconic Blood. Hi, James Corman. Hey, and Byron's here too. Cool. We have both moderators in the live chat, so everybody better behave themselves. The cops are on the beat. Hi, Armor Magnus and Painted Plastic. Brandon, how's my day? It's been up and down. There have been some frustrations today, but there have been other things that have turned out pretty good. So it's just kind of an up and down day. But thanks for asking. I hope your day is going well. All right. And I do have a couple topics to talk about. I will give it a few minutes before I get started. They are kind of housekeeping topics related to the channel, but they are important. So I want to make sure that I cover both of them thoroughly before we move on and talk about some other things. Killer Weezer must be expecting rain. White on. Oh yeah, yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I have to move the lights around quite a bit for different camera angles, so they're never in the same place twice. Hello, Midnight Range. Oh, it talked about my show on your live show. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. That's really cool. Hi, Bad Ape. James will be behaving. Oh, went to the dental viper and had a tooth pulled. Oh, hey, Cujo is in here. Cujo almost snuck by me. Hello, Cujo. Nice to see you as well. Yeah, and I do have specific topics to cover that I think are important. Topics that are related to the channel. Hello, Adam Verwolf. I almost said Adam Airwolf. I almost did. Hello, Crimson Entertainment. Hey, Chris, MC83. So, yeah. I want to make sure that I cover everything that I need to cover, so I will not be probably watching the live chat too much while I'm doing it. So, I will leave it to the moderators to make sure everything's going orderly in the live chat. But two things I need to talk about this evening. Two housekeeping items. Not fun stuff, unfortunately, but I mean important things. We will get back to talking about G.I. Joe, but I think it is important to cover a couple topics. The first topic I want to talk about is I wanted to set some policies for the channel on how this channel will handle drama. Fortunately, we've been pretty free of drama pretty much for the entire existence of this channel. We've been pretty drama-free, so it hasn't been an issue. But there's always a potential that it could become an issue, and so my thinking is to set the policy now when it's not a crisis, and maybe you can avoid a crisis. When you're in a crisis, that's not the time to set the policy. Then you just having to manage the crisis. So now, in peacetime, when things are calm, I feel that this is a good time to talk about how I will be approaching any drama that comes up directed toward this channel. The other topic that I wanted to cover, and I shared this on Facebook, Retroblasting put up a video recently about some changes that YouTube is making that could affect toy review channels. And so I want to discuss that as well, because that also could affect the future of this channel and how we approach this topic. Because I want to keep bringing toy reviews to you every week and keep joining you every week. But YouTube may make that more difficult. We'll cover that. Hello, Mark Hoke. Nice to see you. So that's those are the two things that I need to cover, and I want to cover it here because I want it to be on record. I want this to... The live stream, of course, will be uploaded as a video, so people can watch the replay. And so I wanted to have my words on record so that if anyone wants to refer to it or hold me accountable for my policies, this is the video that you can point to where I said this is what we do, and so this is what we should be doing. So, we absolutely will talk about the Retroblasting video. That's important, because that could affect a lot more than toy review channels. It's something that I've been looking at since the YouTube stated what their policy will be. I've been keeping an eye on it, hopeful that it doesn't become an issue. But it could become an issue. So, but that's not topic number one. That's topic number two. So, first of all, are we still live? I still have a good signal. Everybody can still hear me. Everything's still good. I want to make sure we have a good recording of everything. So, not Snarl says it will become an issue. That's looking more likely. So, okay, so we're still good. Okay, let's talk about drama. First of all, it's indirectly related to Retroblasting as well, because Retroblasting had a bit of drama not that long ago related to the Star Wars Jabba's sail barge HasLab thing, in which some rando with a YouTube channel accused them of essentially lying in order to get a sail barge, which the channel had previously been on record saying that they did not support that HasLab project. But they had got a sail barge that was sent to them by someone... Well, it was sent to them on behalf of someone who was in Australia who could not get it shipped out there. The drama was related to this guy basically saying that Brent in Australia was not a real person and it was all just a scam to get a sail barge. It's not important what the drama is about. That's not the issue. The issue is, we're on the internet. We are putting our creations out there. We're putting our faces out there. We're putting, a lot of ourselves out there in these videos. And usually that's a good thing because we build a lot of relationships. And that's hopefully why a lot of you are here. And I very much appreciate you being here. But just the fact that we're here means that there's a possibility that just somebody is going to get a burr in their saddle and decide that they want to take somebody down. So that has happened to a lot of people that I have known on YouTube. That's not new. The methods for doing it have changed a bit since YouTube has changed some policies, but they still try. one way or another, they still seem to try to go after people. So fortunately, I haven't had that happen to me. As the audience grows, the possibility of it happening is greater because you have a larger audience. You have a larger possibility that maybe one guy in all of those people is the guy that's just going to decide that he needs to take you down. You're going to be his crusade. So, Mark, I will talk about that here in a minute. I want to make sure that I cover this topic first. One topic at a time. One at a time. So, I mean, I don't like to see anyone attacked unfairly. And so there have been occasions when I have gone to the defense of people that I think have been attacked unfairly. And as such, that is getting involved in the drama. And so it's not that means I'm not completely aloof, right? I will get into the fray if I think it's necessary to defend somebody that I think is being attacked unfairly or accused falsely of something. And I've done that on more than one occasion. But one thing that I haven't done, and one thing that I won't do, is bring the drama to the channel. I will not be making drama-related videos. And that includes if the drama is directed at me. And if the issue is such that it's something bad, somebody's accused of something really bad, and maybe it's not a fair accusation, and the temptation is to strike back. The temptation is to defend yourself. But I have been on YouTube for quite some time. I've been on YouTube for much longer than I've had this channel. So I've seen, a lot of different channels react to drama over a lot of years, in a lot of different eras of YouTube. And responding to the drama on your channel is a perfectly legitimate way to do it, but that is not what I want to do, because even if you're successful, in my opinion, even if you're successful at defending yourself and defeating some kind of false accusation or some kind of just unfair attack, what happens is those videos tend to be suddenly the most popular videos that you have. A lot of times you get a lot of subscribers that way, but the subscribers that you're attracting and the viewers that you are attracting are the viewers that are drawn to drama. They are there for the drama. That's their entertainment, and so they'll just be eating popcorn and watching the fiasco. And that's what they're there for. And that's not what this channel will be delivering week to week. And I don't want to attract those viewers to the channel. That's not what this channel is about. So, as difficult as it may be, if drama arises that's directed toward this channel, my position will be to not respond to it. And that's going to be really difficult if it's something that a lot of people believe should require a response. It's a lot easier to punch back. It really is. But having seen what happens when other YouTubers do that, I just don't want to go down that road. So what happens if somebody accuses me of something that I consider to be false and unfair, or perhaps some kind of dishonesty, which I could address, and people are asking me to address, and my policy is to not address it? What I will have to do is I will have to rely on hopefully the relationships that we've built, and the history that I have of trying to run the channel with integrity, and I will have to rely on you trusting that I wouldn't do the things that I might be accused of doing. So the response would properly be on this channel would not to reply to it, to move on, to focus on the channel's mission. And the mission of this channel is to review G.I. Joe toys. That's what this channel is about. This ain't a drama channel. It just is not, and it's not going to become one. So if that's the case, and people are expecting and even demanding a response to something, and I don't intend to respond, it may be that I lose some people. It may be that some people don't trust me and don't believe that or don't believe that I have the reputation that they should give me the benefit of the doubt. So maybe they believe the other side because I don't respond. And if that's the case, then I will just have to let those people go. And if my audience were to shrink because of that, I will have to accept that. That is a consequence of the policy. But I've said before, and I guess it's worth reiterating, that if somehow, someday in the future, I do or say something, or I get accused of doing or saying something that just really sets a lot of people off, turns a lot of people off, and a lot of people just want to have nothing else to do with me, and if I lost my entire audience, if the subscriber count went down to 1 subscriber, 1 guy's left, everybody else is out the door, and the only reason that 1 guy is left is because he wasn't really paying attention and forgot to unsubscribe. Even if that were to happen, me and that 1 guy, we will rebuild. We're going to keep on chugging, and I will hopefully regain people's trust and just keep doing what I'm doing. But this channel will be focused on its mission of reviewing G.I. Joe toys, and hopefully entertaining you guys and doing something that I think is special. I mean, this project is to review everything from the vintage era. Once this project is done, we'll have this whole thing in a capsule. We'll have like all of G.I. Joe in a YouTube capsule that everybody will be able to watch from start to finish. And that's very exciting to me, and that's what I'm going to focus on. So, as difficult as it may be, I will not be allowing the channel to be distracted with drama. I will not be responding to trolls. I may occasionally come to the defense of others elsewhere, but I won't be making videos on the channel related to that. That's not going to come in here. And along those lines, one thing that I will never do, and this is something that I need everyone to hold me accountable for, okay? This is something where I need to have everybody clear that you have a role in this, okay? One thing that I will not do is I will not weaponize my audience, meaning that I will not ask or encourage anyone to attack anyone else. If you feel the need, either on social media or in the comments or elsewhere, to defend me, that's fine. It's nice that people will come to my defense. That's great. But even in those situations, I wouldn't want you to be attacking somebody. Even if you feel like that person like really deserves it, that's not what I want. I'm not bringing people into the audience and building the audience and making these videos so that I can have an army of people to attack people that I don't like, or attack people that say mean things. That's never my intention. And if ever I were to do that, anywhere, if I ever ask one person or the whole audience to attack someone, then this is where I think that you should hold me accountable. I think that's the moment where you should point the finger at me, and you should part ways with the channel, and I would deserve to lose you as part of the audience if I am attempting to turn you into a weapon against someone else. This is another thing that I've seen other channels do. I don't like it, and that's not something that I ever intend to do. So that's my statement on that. I don't see you as a weapon to attack anyone, and I don't want anyone attacked, even if somebody is attacking me. And so if there is any doubt about that policy, this live stream and later the replay will be the record in which I have stated very clearly that that this is how I intend to handle those things. So I think that is everything I wanted to say on the drama front. And again, it may never happen. I hope it never happens. Like I said before, the larger the audience grows, the greater the possibility of it happening. But if it ever does happen, I want this on record so it's very clear that this is what we're going to do. And I really am grateful that a lot of you are here and that you've been so supportive. And because you've been so supportive, I think it might be tempting, if the channel gets attacked for some reason, to strike back, or to ask me to strike back. And I understand. I've been in your position too, as a member of someone else's audience. But we just don't do drama here. We don't. When I first started the channel, I made a decision that I do not want to have an adversarial relationship with the audience. Because there are a lot of channels that do that, and some audiences seem to thrive on it, on this sort of adversarial back and forth with the content creator. Well, I don't like that, and that's not the kind of relationship that I want to have with the audience. I don't want that. What that means sometimes is that I get comments on videos, either opinions or people trying to correct me on facts, and I know that they're wrong, but I won't argue with them. I don't argue with people even when I think they're wrong, because I just don't want to have that adversarial relationship. I'm not here for debate. So that's a decision that I made from the beginning. Like, before I uploaded the first video, that's something that I had decided. So related to that, I'm not going to be striking back toward those who attack me. And if I lose some audience, that's I would rather lose some audience than to lose the integrity of the show. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Now, the other topic that we had to talk about are these YouTube changes, which are potentially a big pain in the butt. YouTube, they had a civil ruling against them recently, and deserved, for targeting advertising contents to kids, which they were not supposed to do. They claimed that they didn't know what was happening, even though in their marketing material for advertisers, they kind of said that they knew that it was happening. So YouTube rightfully got busted for targeting ads to kids. In addition to that, there are some YouTube toy review channels, really big channels, including channels with children as the presenters, that have been uploading content that appears to be toy reviews, but in fact are basically advertisements. So basically, they're disguising advertisements as toy reviews. And as a toy reviewer, that is, for me, that's a violation of the trust between the reviewer and the audience. That's a big problem. And that's something that this channel never do. And when I see other channels doing that, my concern is always that, as people realize that there's some dishonesty there, that people will start to think that every toy review channel is being dishonest in that way. And I don't want to get caught up in that. Well, YouTube may get us caught up with it anyway. Killer Weezer, I'm advertising Joe's and I keep going out and buying them. Yeah, but Hasbro's not paying me to advertise it, so... anyway, they have a new policy. They're going to have a new policy at the beginning of the year. Hello, Montreal from the United States. So, starting at the beginning of the year, they're going to start flagging all content that is intended for children, okay? And the creators that make content for children will first have to self-identify that this content is for children, okay? So any content so identified will be deemed, everybody in the audience will be considered a child for advertising purposes, meaning that the targeted advertising is very limited. Everything will be only for kids, right? If that's all they were doing, that would be fine, because this channel isn't directed at children. The channel is more or less family friendly, not because the content is directed at children, but because, I know that a lot of adults my age are going to be watching. A lot of adults my age have younger children, and I don't want the adults watching the videos to have to shoo the kids into the other room or cover their ears just to watch the video. But obviously, my content is related to toys that are 25 to 30 years old or older. And of course, there are some children that are interested in those things, but primarily the assumption is that if you're in the audience, then you were around at that time, and that you collected and played with the toys at that time. So the assumption is that you're an adult. Most of us are. So that's the target audience for this channel. The problem comes in with the second part of the policy, and that is that YouTube is going to employ some AI to find channels that are not reporting, to identify children's content that hasn't been reported by the channel owner. Hello, G.I. Joeberg, welcome. And that's potentially the issue, and it's potentially a big issue, because when they talk about what they're going to be looking for to identify children's content, toy reviews is a big one. Channels that cover, children's characters. Almost anything that you can think of that is related to children. This artificial intelligence program that they're going to do, this AI, is going to try to pick out those videos and then flag them as being only for children, and it'll drop them in that category of this is children's content, and so everybody watching it will be deemed a child for advertising purposes. Well, that causes a big problem, because it's not just the fact that you could be demonetized, or you could have all the content switched to like only children's advertisement, but they will also be disabling the comments, disabling the notifications. And so now, if they do that, it's going to be difficult for people to find your videos. Even, the audience that wants to see them, you're not going to get the notifications. They won't pop up on your phone like they have been. And you won't have the engagements. You won't have the comments, so you don't have the engagements. You don't have anything for the algorithms to see that people are engaging with this content. So you can't, your video just won't turn up in recommended feeds. It'll be practically invisible to the larger audience. So that's a huge issue for a channel like mine, for a channel like Retroblasting. I think it's also a huge issue for like comic book review channels, for channels that review like old cartoons, old animation. All of that stuff could be caught up in the search for children's content, even if it's old stuff, even if it's vintage stuff, even if it's stuff that virtually the entire audience is an adult. It could still be labeled children's content, and then virtually nobody can see it. But because this channel, if it were labeled children's content, and if it were to go in that bucket, even though the videos are, for the most part, okay for kids to watch, it's not the kind of videos that kids do watch. And the audience that would be looking for it won't be able to find it. So that's the problem. The policy is supposed to go into effect at the beginning of next year. If the AI is smart enough to figure out that this channel reviews vintage toys primarily aimed at adults versus a channel that reviews new toys that are in Walmart that are primarily for young children, if it can figure that out, then it's not an issue. But given YouTube's track record, it's unlikely that it's going to go that cleanly. So I posted Retroblasting's video in Facebook earlier. Retroblasting has a form letter that he is asking people to send in. I think that's not a bad idea at all. That'll kind of raise the profile of the issue. The problem that a channel like mine has is that my channel is relatively small in comparison with like some of the bigger toy review channels. My audience is not huge. It is never intended to be. Like I don't do videos for mass appeal. I do videos for you guys. I do videos for you because I know that you and me are kind of on the same wavelength, and so you're my audience. My audience isn't everybody in America, isn't everybody in the world, all ages. That's never been the goal. So my channel, in theory, should never be large enough that that my word is going to get YouTube's attention. So my thought, at least right now, is that we'd have to do something collectively, something in numbers that basically says, "Hey, YouTube, look here. We exist, and you need to pay attention to us because we're not the people that you're trying to affect." I mean, it would be one thing, if we were actually violating the YouTube policy. I mean, YouTube can decide that they want to restrict anything that they want, right? I mean, it's a private company. It's their forum. And if they don't decide they don't want certain types of content on their forum, absolutely their right to do that. And the people who make the content that is restricted, of course, they jump up and down and they don't like it because they don't want to be restricted. But that's not the case here. That's not what's happening here. We're talking about channels that are not violating the policy, that are not doing the thing that they want to restrict, but could still be caught up and labeled with that, even though we are playing by the rules and we're doing what we're supposed to do. So for anyone that wasn't aware of that, that's a thing that is coming. It is possible that at the beginning of the year, if this policy interferes with the normal operation of this channel, then it may be more difficult for you to find the videos. And if that's the case, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out how to continue to make content and hopefully figure out how to keep getting it to you. But I'm also thinking about what kind of collective action we can take to get YouTube's attention and to make sure that YouTube knows that we exist and make sure that YouTube understands that we are not violating the new policy and that we should not be snagged in their search. So I will probably be working on that in the next week or so. I wanted to touch base with a few other YouTube creators who may be affected by this and discuss some ideas about what we might do together to try to get YouTube's attention. That's the thing I think will be the biggest challenge, is that just getting their attention, just like, hello, we're here. Let alone, I mean, that's not even necessarily getting the outcome we want. It can be difficult for them to even realize that we exist, to even consider our position. So yeah, that's the big thing. So I hope that this is not an issue at the beginning of the year, but it certainly could be. Absolutely could be. Those are the two big topics that I needed to talk about. And wow, it took up like 38 minutes. My apologies. But I needed to discuss both of those. I think both of those are important. They're both important to the future of the channel. And it's also something that you guys need to be thinking about, since this affects you too. Even if if you're not a huge fan of this channel, or you watch other toy review channels, this could impact the content that you watch. It could, some of the channels that you enjoy could, fade away if this isn't addressed, and if we don't get some kind of resolution to it. So anyway, so that was all the heavy stuff I had to talk about. I'm sorry, I know it was serious stuff, and we needed to talk serious for a minute. That's the adult content for this live stream. We had to adult for a minute. And G.I. Joeberg says, have I been published in Postbox The Pit yet? I haven't yet. But I keep writing. To the Deke, G.I. Joe's, not Deke, IDW. Wow, we got, not the cartoon. The IDW series. I keep writing into the letters page, and maybe I'll be published eventually. But I will still encourage everyone to read the comic book that Larry is writing, and to write to the letters page. I really think that is a great way to show Larry that his current work is appreciated, is first of all to read it, and second of all to respond. I mean, in the old Marvel run, they used to get a ton of letters every month, and not so much now. So I really think Larry would feel the appreciation the most by getting some feedback and hearing from you after each new issue from IDW. And thank you to everyone. I've only just kept the slightest eye on the live chat. I am now fully paying attention to live chat, so thank you, everyone. Mark wants to know about the YouTube flagging thing. Actually, the best thing to do, I shared on Facebook Retroblasting's video. Retroblasting breaks it down pretty well. So actually, just watch that, and that you should get a pretty good understanding of the issue. Hey, there's Max Rebo's Ghost Music. You have been away too long. We have missed you. You're up to date on reviews, you goofball. All right, you definitely are up to date on reviews. Thank you. I can only imagine you would be published. Maybe, I don't know. I try to write publishable letters, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll just keep writing. It's not about being published, It's about showing the support, so I'll just keep writing. And Green Yeti was saying maybe since Halloween we'd share some ghost stories in the live chat and participate. They can be personal encounters or stories people know. Ghost stories. Now I've never been a big proponent of the I guess the ghost theory of the afterlife. So I can't say I've had a lot of personal experiences with ghosts. But I can say, though, that I have been ghost hunting. And Susan was really into ghost hunting for a while, and we actually went ghost hunting at a cemetery and an allegedly haunted theater. And that's fun. And actually, whether you believe in ghosts or not, if you're a cold-hearted skeptic like myself, or if you believe in ghosts, then you should give it a try anyway. Because, you probably won't see any ghosts, but actually going ghost hunting is kind of fun. There's What's on Joe Mine. Hello, What's on Joe Mine. Nice to see you. Green Yeti's got a ghost story. I will let Green Yeti type his ghost story. Review YouTube. What tier do they end up in? I don't know. Davenport, Iowa is a very haunted city in the Midwest. Hello, Davenport from the United States. Iconic Blood would sleep over in an abandoned mental facility. I wouldn't sleep over in an abandoned mental facility. I've been in a lot of active mental facilities, not as a patient. Some of you may know that my job used to involve going to mental hospitals a lot, basically every day. Yes, that's not a Sam Adams. It's just iced tea today. Iced tea in a Hideaway pizza cup. All starts half a century ago. You don't look half a century old. That's amazing. I didn't know you were that old. Augustine, Florida, back in the 30s. Segregation, racism, big. Okay. Continue. Who's the guy that flies the Phantom? Oh, you forgot his name. I don't have him handy. It's that guy. The one who rides with ghosts. See, there they go. There you go. There's your ghosts right there. You got your ghost rider. And who's in the back seat then? Huh? Lazarus says, did not know you did the hospital stuff. As an attorney I did the civil mental health docket in my county for a few years. And that often involved going to mental hospitals and seeing my clients there. So that was a big part of my job. I probably spent more time in mental hospitals than my clients did. I spent a lot of time in mental hospitals, that's what I'm saying. The copyright, yes, the copyright on Ghost Rider is what's in the back seat. Copyright on Ghost Rider is his co-pilot. Goose is dead. That's right. So you leave that seat empty, in honor of Goose. Renee Biker says there are a few haunted hotels here in Arkansas. One of the hotels is in Eureka Springs. Oh yeah, we've been to the Crescent. That's one of the places that we went, actually. I forgot to mention that. It's been a while since we've been to Eureka Springs, but we used to go fairly regularly, and for one of our anniversaries, we went out to the Crescent. And it's a nice place. I didn't have any experiences, but, we went, and it was fun. Plus, I just enjoy going to Eureka Springs. It's just a fun trip. Leah has a story. Okay, now... Look, there's only about 14 minutes left to go in the live stream, so it may not be enough time for everybody to tell their stories. So, hey, it's October, and apparently all of October is Halloween now. Timmer is doing Monster Month, and there will be horror movies on the TV, like, all month. So, we'll have all of October for you to share scary stories. Green Yeti for mid-90s, history teacher, lived on the road, sat on the tracks, okay, alright, okay, following. Back to the 90s, history teacher and his cousin were playing basketball at 7 at night. Sunday sun just went down. Grandparents always told them, look out for the lady in the lane. The lady in the lane. That's a good name for a ghost. Also, the lady in the lake. But she distributes swords. Yeah, Leah, September is Halloween now, too. That's right. Yeah, we saw Halloween stuff starting in, like, mid-September. It's like, that's too early. And I'm really not that much of a horror movie fan. It's just not my thing. But we will get inundated with... all kinds of horror kitsch for the next 31 days. Sparkster is reviewing Pretender Transformers this month. By the way, Sparkster has a channel in which he reviews Transformers. FYI for you Transformers fans out there. They saw the lady in the lane, stopped in their steps, stared at her. She looked at them. She was sitting in a rocking chair with a baby in her lap. Ooh, that's chilling. Low light. Yeah, okay. See, there's your horror connection. Low light. I don't have any, like, horror or monster themed reviews planned for October. I don't really follow, like, holidays and themes very well with my reviews and, like, tying them into seasonal stuff. I have done that a few times, but honestly a lot of times I forget, so it's just not something I do regularly. The Haunted Shipwreck episode with the woman. Hello, Gemini. I don't think I said hi. And hello, Mike Layton. Low light in a junkyard of freaky rats. That actually was not a bad episode of the animated series. It's one of the better ones. Horror catalog coming in the mail. A scary story, no Joes. They're still here, thank God. James Frayne says goodnight. Good night, James. Hopefully see you again soon. The Major Pain says Cobra Law was pretty horrible. Does it count as horror? I think that literally counts as horror. I mean, it's like an actual horror theme, like with monsters and they're grotesque. And so, I mean, I'm not a fan of Cobra Law, but that's not a knock on Cobra Law. That's was part of the intention, was kind of a horror monster kind of thing. And one thing I can't really knock about Cobra Law is that some of their creature designs for the animation were really pretty good. And I'm saying that as not a Cobra Law fan. What's on Joe Mine says, celebrating by buying 48 pounds of Reese's Cups, listening to old George Benson records. Actually, that sounds like a pretty good Saturday night. I guarantee that's better than how I will be spending Saturday night. So you keep on, party animal. That actually sounds pretty good. I've reached that age where that sounds like a great time to me. The episode where Cobra was using ghosts. I know which one you mean, but I can't remember the name of the episode right off the top of my head. Fast forward, teacher says it's this day that you should never pay attention to the lady in the lane. She appears every night. To this day, when the sun goes down and when they drive by. Well, I think I would not drive by there. I think I would find an alternate route. Just a Phantom Brigade. I think Jason is right about that. I think that was the name of that episode. Yeah, Phantom Brigade. That's the one. Popping, locking, and eating candy. I'm reverting back to childhood. Maybe this is... Oh, crap. This is how we're going to get labeled as children's content. Reverting back to childhood... I'm surrounded by toys, and the main thing I will be doing on Halloween is eating candy. But I'm not all the way back to childhood because I will probably be enjoying a bourbon with the candy. So, there's that. Party on. We got about 8 minutes to go, and I will shut it down in 8 minutes because as soon as I'm done here, I've got to set up to do the next review. I got some shooting that I want to start tomorrow. Demonetized. I knew it. It would really suck to be demonetized, but that's like the least of the issues, because at the very least, I'd like the audience to be able to see the videos at least. And, even though I don't do the videos in order to gain like a huge audience, I also don't do the videos just so that I can sit and watch them all by myself. I do them because I do want other people to enjoy them. So, and it's a lot of work to put in them. It's a lot of work. I've got more work to do this evening when I'm done here, and then tomorrow evening I've got some shooting to do, and the day after that. And the day after that I'll probably have to get some editing done. So it's a lot of hours of work to put in to produce a video, and to not have anybody be able to see it, that would be very disappointing. So, yeah. Shut the front door. Byron says, do we need to start cussing to keep YouTube off your back? That's a little ironic, isn't it? Because if the content were clearly only for adults, like only adults could watch it, then it'd be real easy to determine that it's not children's content, right? So basically, I need to do every video in the nude and dropping F-bombs every 30 seconds or so. Then maybe they'll get it. But that would not be the direction that I would want to take the channel in. But yeah, it's an issue. So you're aware of the issue now. I've tried to make everybody aware, and also of Retroblasting's approach to that issue. I've laid down some policy about drama. I've done so when there is not any drama. So, it's not a matter of being emotional about some issue. It's just where everything's calm, so we can think logically about it, and we've addressed that, and hopefully that will be all we have to say about it. It's time for the HCC788 Attitude Era to begin. I've watched a lot of content creators, a lot of reviewers, not necessarily of G.I. Joe, but of other content, who, it's clearly for adults. There's lots of swearing and addressing adult issues, and I oftentimes find those things funny. I can enjoy content directed only at adults. I'm no prude, is what I'm saying. But it's just not the thing that I'm wanting to do on this channel. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll find some way to keep this thing going. Start drinking in every review. Well, behind the scenes, I'll just have to start doing that in front of the scenes, right? I'll just do it on camera. Bleeping is bleeping funny. See, What's on Joe Mind gets it. We got about 4 minutes, and then I am gonna say goodnight to you and get to work. My plan is to, because I did a donation unboxing video yesterday evening, and to do that I had to move everything. I had to move my backboard and move the table so that I could have myself behind the table. I had to move the whole studio practically. So tomorrow you will be getting a donation unboxing video, so look for that. But now I'm not set up to actually do a review. So excuse me, I've got to put everything back where it belongs and get all set up to do the next review, because my plan is, as soon as I get home from work tomorrow, I'm going to start shooting. I'm going to keep shooting until the thing is done. Yeah. Jason, absolutely did get your package, and so you should be happy, I think, with the video that will go up tomorrow. And thank you for that. Thank you. I don't want to spoil anything. No spoilers. No spoilers. But thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for being here. You guys really make this worthwhile for me. And again, these Tuesday live streams, when we just get to sit down and talk, are the highlight of my week. I have grown to just really enjoy these and almost need to have these. I feel very disappointed when we can't do it. So thank you for showing up and just talking with us every week. It means a lot to me. Yes, and Brandon Knight also. Thank you very much. And I try to be supportive of What's on Joe Mind. By the way, if you are not listening to What's on Joe Mind, you should. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Obviously listen to the current episodes as they come out. But they have an amazing back catalog that you should look at. Look at it. Listen to it. Some incredible things that What's on Joe Mind has done over many years. Leah is good at offensive. I am too, by the way. I just restrain myself. I am capable of restraining myself. But anyway, so yeah, it looks like it's about time to shut her down. So thank you, everyone. I will video going up tomorrow. Next review is ready. It's in the can. So that'll be up on time. And if you're a patron, you will get your early access. And next Tuesday we will do this again. And hey, next Tuesday we're not going to have any heavy stuff to talk about. We can talk about just G.I. Joe. We didn't even talk about, hey, there's a new Baroness. There's an actress that they cast as the Baroness in the Snake Eyes movie. They didn't even talk about that. So we've got some catching up to do. Also, October, we can talk about more ghost stories if you feel like it. And maybe, I even got these out to see if maybe we would have time to read one. We didn't have time to read one this time. But maybe we can even get to one of these Find Your Fate books. But that'll be next week. I am going to say goodnight, everyone. Thank you, and I will see you soon. And I will push this little button that will turn this off. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.